bloodsuckers? It's your two favorite wild uncles back here for Cinephellas. I'm Logan Myers, and that's a creepy old spook over there.
Henry Hill. And we're back tonight with a movie that we've been anticipating for quite some time, ever since it was announced. Robert Eggers' next film, following his last motion picture. We've all been really looking forward to this, putting it out on Christmas Day. It was going to be a special experience. And both of us just had a chance to watch this yesterday, and we are back with our thoughts today. That's right, we're talking about Nosferatu.
I'm ready.
That's right, these two wild vampires are back talking about one of the most anticipated films, a movie that we're both super excited to check out during, the holiday season on Christmas of all days. This movie dropped. Of course, we're both fans of Robert Eggers. This is his fourth film. He's an acquired taste. His movies are hit or miss for me for the most part. Wasn't a fan of The Witch, but his other films really enjoyed. So I was anxiously awaiting, what he did with this. Of course, the story of Nosferatu, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Original film came out in 1922, spooky ass movie. Just remember seeing the vampire walking around. And, obviously the modern adaptation of it. Eggers behind, directing this film. And of course, it's a beautiful movie to look at.
A beautiful gothic cinematic experience. It looks impeccable, like beautifully shot. Everything looks exquisite. The wardrobes, the costumes, the whole atmosphere of this movie is terrific. I don't have any criticisms about that. Like, he nailed that, and I knew all along he would, because he's so good at that. He's shown us that before, especially with the lighthouse, and then even some scenes from the Northmen, like in the cave. He really nails like the darkness factor. So he, knocked that out of the park for this one. The cast all did a good job here. Only complaint here is Lily Rose Depp, replacing Anya Taylor-Joy. She had to drop out. That's really where the film fall out for me, because I had seen her in The Idol along with you and just didn't really I don't know, something's off about her. Like, she's trying too hard. But yeah, she's the main character here, who's been hearing these voices and basically getting the presence of Count Orlok and dreaming about him, and listening to him. And then her husband, played by Nicholas Hoult, gets this invite basically to go travel to Transylvania. There's this count there that wants to, move back, bring him back here and live in this old creepy house. And he's going to have to travel there and bring him back at the count's request.
That doesn't sound sus, does it? Yeah, sure. Let me a real estate transaction. You have to travel by yourself, and the mountains of Transylvania, super spooky. There's wolves outside, and really awesome gothic atmosphere that Eggers really sets up here, and it really sets off a spooky tone early on in the film. We're set up Ellen Hunter, played by Lily Rose Depp. She's haunted by this vampire, Count Orlok, that's really infatuated with her. And then, of course, Nicholas Hoult playing Thomas Hutter. He plays Ellen's husband, real estate. He's trying to make money, better life for them. So he's going on to the sketchy transaction in the middle of nowhere by himself, running across gypsies and other people for warning him about this, evil place. But he's like, oh, whatever, I need to make the money, so I can provide for my family. And goes there, as you can expect, doesn't turn out as planned.
It's quite the journey into especially that gypsy scene, like you mentioned, when he's coming up to them and they're all looking at him really suspiciously. The music in the background, the sound design in this film's terrific too. It really helps set that creepy ass atmosphere. I was really filled with anxiety during that part and dread, leading into that. And then you can just see it on Nicholas Holt's face. Like, he's like totally scared out of his wits, trying to make it to find this guy, but he can already sense that there's definitely something evil lurking in the shadows. And it, of course, has to do with Count Orlok. And we finally meet up with him. It's played by Bill Skarsgård. He's the creature in this. He's this really old, very tall gentleman with a mustache here. And I wasn't expecting to see him right away. Like, I was kind of shocked, like, that we were seeing him and his character right away. I thought the reveal was going to be, on the second half of the movie towards the end. But really, you see him right away. You see how the creature is. And that threw me off. I wasn't expecting his look. and I understand that it's close to the novel from Bram Stoker's Dracula and everything. But I had in mind that he was going to look more like the Nosferatu from that old black and white movie with the bald head, the huge teeth. They had the same fingers, the long fingers and everything. But the creature design, yeah, threw me off a little. I wasn't expecting it. Didn't hate it, but just didn't love it. So that was a big thing, as we got to see Count Orlok here. And then the choice of his, how he speaks and his voice. And he sounds like he has emphysema.
He does. Like, give that guy a cigarette. Stat. Yeah, he's
Right.
wheezing. But yeah, I'm with you on that. The reveal came up super early, first act of the film, which I wasn't expecting either.
Mhm.
And the actual design of the vampire wasn't a fan. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't all that scary. I was hoping for like the 1922, which was terrifying. But they went a
Mhm.
different way with this film with Skarsgård playing the character. But the voice work, with Skarsgård doing the voice of this character, Count Orlok, was incredible. Incredible, like unrecognizable, the German in there, and just like him wheezing. It just created a really spooky atmosphere. And I wish they would have held off revealing the face, maybe till like second, third act of the film. I thought it would have been
Mhm.
better.
This movie has a lot of very eerie and brutal and violent scenes in it. There's some brutal kills in this, and the way that the actual vampires go to suck your blood, they go directly to the source and the heart. They bite the chest and go right through the heart. There's a lot of scenes of, Count Orlok being able to control people from a distance, controlling this old guy in particular who just went batshit insane throughout the film and did, a lot of evil things for Count Orlok here. And, Thomas Hutter's trying to hold it together here. He's dealing with his wife who's basically going through depression. They called it melancholy back in the day. So she's like just losing her shit throughout the film. She's going to go ahead and stay with their friends. One of the friends, Friedrich Harding, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson here, in a role that I really love to see him in. He didn't act anything like you're used to seeing him. He played it straight and he played like a different character than he normally does. And I really thought he was one of the best part of the cast in this movie for me. Playing this character that, has a family, loves his wife, loves his kids, and basically they have to take in Ellen as Thomas is going to pick up the count, and she's basically being possessed while under their control. And all the time in the backdrop of this film in England at the time, the plague is occurring. So you have to keep that in mind too, and that plays heavily in the plot here.
I like how they threw in the history part too with the plague. I was going to bring that up as well, as we find on later in the film. Of course, when Count Orlok makes it to, Germany, this small town, and people start dying to plague, and it's really behind his control, which is really interesting. I like how they did that. But I was going to say Dr. Wilhelm Sievers, he came in, he was checking out Ellen, trying to figure out what's going on with her, played by Ralph Ineson, which was in The Witch, worked with Eggers before. And I liked his character a lot as a doctor, trying to figure this out, trying to deal with this guy going crazy, and then also trying to figure out what's going on with Ellen. She possessed, what's going on exactly. And then, which eventually brings in the professor played by Willem Dafoe, which he studied under and knew what he was capable of. So they go track him down to help out with Ellen and figuring out the vampires in town.
Right. And as you can imagine, it ends up in the third act, going completely bonkers. Count Orlok ends up being taken back and he's in the city causing havoc. There's a high body count going on. All the time, a lot of it's in the shadows. He's doing his killing and drinking all the blood he can get a hold of. And I was expecting him, as he fed to get younger, but he never did. He never like became like a suave like Gary Oldman from Bram Stoker's Dracula. He doesn't get young at any point. He always looks like this crazy giant, old, haggard, and with melting skin. Count Orlok that he is, but he's obviously focused on getting to Ellen the whole time, and we won't tell you where it ends up. But a big thing for this movie, everything looked great. It was just the pacing for me. I felt was a little too slow at times. A couple of parts dragged on for me. And, if you're seeing this at night and the whole movie is dark, in my theater, I could hear a couple people snoring. So that's never a good sign, with the pace and stuff. It felt like it could have picked up in a couple parts it could have sped up and it would have served this movie to cut off a little bit. It ended up going a little too long, I thought. That was one of my criticisms here, along with Lily Rose Depp. I just thought I would have picked a different actress for this role. I don't know. She's just too over the top for me, with this performance. And then she gets possessed, obviously, in that whole scene where she's basically having an orgasm, thinking about Count Orlok, being on top of her, and they're making love, and Thomas is watching the whole thing happen. There's a lot of sexual innuendo, as is in the story. But yeah, she just didn't work for me. I would have loved to see Anya Taylor-Joy in that role. I think she would have killed it. She's just a better actress. But she did as best as she could in this role. Like you mentioned, Willem Dafoe. He's always amazing in everything he does, and in this one, he's kind of like the Van Helsing character. So that was really cool to see. He has a big part in this. I was expecting him to have a little small supporting role in this, but he has a main role in this and a big role throughout the film. I thought Emma Corrin's character, who is Aaron Taylor Johnson's wife in the movie, I thought her character was a lot more sympathetic than Ellen's character. What she goes through in the film. I felt really bad for that couple there and their family for what happened, through them. Would I call this a bad movie? Not by any stretch of the imagination. Just hearing all the hype surrounding this, people calling it a masterpiece. I was just hoping for a little more. The pace was a little off for me. It was a little too slow at times. Didn't really like Lily Rose Depp here. The creature design, I wasn't thrilled with. I wasn't in love with. But overall, the atmosphere and the visuals and cinematography from Robert Eggers here was phenomenal. Sound design, everything was great across the board. Terrifically, beautifully well-made movie. A good film, just not a great film like I was expecting.
The atmosphere is like another character in this movie. The backdrop of it really creates this really awesome gothic, spooky atmosphere, and I really appreciated that. That was one of the best parts. Cinematography, as you're saying, set design, costume design. I meant the costumes looked incredible from back in the 1800s. I thought the supporting cast, for the most part, were really the MVPs. I think Nicholas Hoult did a hell of a job. I really loved his character, having a great year. Going to be playing
Yeah.
Lex Luthor coming up. Of course, Skarsgård is Count Orlok. I love the voice work he did with it. Not crazy about the creature design and the mustache. Kind of threw me off. And I was hoping it'd be a little scarier. Aaron Taylor Johnson playing the proper gentleman. I thought he was incredible
Mhm.
too. What he goes through with his wife and two children. Willem Dafoe, as always, is incredible. I loved his character in this movie. Definitely one of the MVPs of it. And Emma Corrin, that played Princess Diana in The Crown. I thought she was really incredible. I would have liked to seen more screen time with her, but I really liked her character a lot.
Mhm.
And Ralph Ineson's doctor was really great in this movie. The movie was pretty slow but interesting. Being a huge fan of the novel, of course, the original film, I was really excited about this. And overall, I thought it was pretty good movie. Not a great movie or anything. And then would also have to agree with you, Lily Rose Depp, totally miscast. She was probably the worst part of the movie, even though there's a few scenes where she does some stuff with her body, which is really cool. But Anya Taylor-Joy, this would have probably been a perfect movie for me. Yeah, with that being said, I had a really good time with this. I think I like this a little more than you. And this is a movie I'd probably rewatch. I'm sure there's some stuff I missed in the 2 hours and 15-minute runtime. So I'm gonna give Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Count Orlok hair pieces.
Yeah, this is a beautiful movie. This, just the look of it, the feel, the sound design, costume design, supporting cast, all amazing across the board. Still waiting for Robert Eggers to make like his masterpiece film, and I feel like it's coming, just not there yet. But you can tell this was definitely a passion project for him, and a terrific job by everybody here. Just a couple nitpicky things about it. The pace thought could have been a little quicker, but all in all, a film that I definitely rewatch. It's not going to ever be one of my favorites, but there's still a lot to enjoy in this film for sure. It's a visual treat for sure. So with that being said, I am going to give Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 Willem Dafoe hair pieces.
Want to hear from all you wild vampire enthusiasts out there. What did you like about Nosferatu? What didn't you like about it? Do you like the old 1922 film? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild creatures of the night on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and Reviews.
This was one of our last movies for 2024, the last big movie, along with Sonic 3 that we're going to review here. So, man, it's been a really terrific 2024. We can't wait for the new year, 2025, to dig into all the big summer blockbusters, all the small, awesome independent films coming. And, we're going to be doing a yearly wrap up here during the podcast where everybody, talks about our favorites and our biggest disappointments of the year, really deep dive into the 2024 year in movies and TV. And we can't wait to do that with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching our review of Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you guys for watching and for subscribing. And until the next Cinephellas movie review, I'm Uncle Henry Hill.
And I'm Logan Skarsgård, signing out until the next movie review for Cinephellas. Cheers!